So to handle subscription with Stripe in our application, we are going to be using BetterAuth. So BetterAuth has a plugin. So I'm just going to click on documentation. It has a Stripe plugin. So if you click over plugin section and you can scroll down, you should see let's scroll down. You can see Stripe. And this is how to set up Stripe with BetterAuth, which will make it so simple to handle subscription in our application. So the first thing we're going to do is to install BetterAuth Stripe, and then we're going to install Stripe. So you're going to also get the Stripe secret key. You're going to get the Stripe secret key, and then we're going to get the Stripe webhook secret. So here we're going to just also add subscription to the client, and then we can migrate, and we can migrate, and this is going to um, create the subscription model in our schema, and then we can also create a Stripe for the this is on for production. Or if you scroll down to the end, you will see for you see how to handle it locally here, testing webhook locally. So I'm just going to scroll up, and then let's just go ahead and set this up here. You can see the schema for subscription. You can see the schema here. So let's go up, and let's take everything one after the other. So let's go ahead and install this, or let's first of all, before we go ahead and let's get the Stripe secret key. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go over to Stripe. Then I'm going to go to dashboard, Stripe dashboard. So make sure you log into your Stripe account. So I've opened my own Stripe. Then I'm going to wait for this to load. So my has opened. So what I want to do, I want to navigate to this. So I'm in this. Let's click on this option here. Then go to sandbox, switch sandbox, then click on create sandbox. So I'm going to create an account. I'm going to say Wave AI, and I'm going to click on create sandbox. And this is going to create a new sandbox for me. So it's switching to Wave AI sandbox. So I'm going to copy the and then go ahead and paste it in the AMV. So let me wait for this to complete. So now it has complete. So I'm just going to, you can click this to copy the secret key. So let's head over to the code and let's paste all of this here. So inside the code, I'm going to come over to the to the env, and we're going to so just paste the secret key. So I've pasted it in my env. I'm just showing you, so I'm just going to remove it from the .env.example. Then once you do that, let's install this. I'm going to create a new terminal, and then let me install both BetterAuth and this. So I'm just going to paste my version here. So make sure you just install this version. I'm using Stripe 18, Stripe 18.5.0, BetterAuth, Stripe 1.3.9. So let's enter to install both of it. So while this is installing, we are going to go into our lib, and let's create a file. I'll call it stripe.txt, and then let's wait for this to install. So this has installed. So I'm just going to come over to the Stripe, and I'm going to just import Stripe, then export Stripe client, new Stripe process.env, Stripe secret key, and then the API version. So let's go into BetterAuth. auth file, and then inside here we're going to import uh let's import stripe from BetterAuth stripe like this. And then here we're going to set a stripe, and let's pass in stripe clients. Let's import stripe clients from the stripe. Let me just import that here from auth. And paste it here. Let's see if the error will stop. Stripe clients. This should stop. Okay, we need to pass in stripe webhook secrets. It's a missing stripe webhook secret. So just say process dot env dot stripe um webhook secrets like this. Then we are going to say stripe to create customer and sign up. True. And then we are going to give subscription here. Enabled. True. And it's going to ask us to provide the plans. So let me just comment this out. We're going to go ahead and then create the plans. But first, we're going to also create the price ID for the plan. So here we're going to also handle on customer create. So the reason why we're calling this function method is because Stripe BetterAuth won't create the user for us, but we create the user in Stripe. And since we are going to be offering free plan, so any user that sign up will be given a free plan. So we need to create the subscription for that user. So BetterAuth will only create subscription for that user when the user upgrade. So and we don't want that situation where people's users sign up and they can't don't have a subscription. So that is the reason why we have to handle creating subscription uh, here by ourselves. So let's go ahead and then go into Prisma schema, and then let's add it here. So I will just paste it here. I'm going to just paste it here, and then let's see why it's showing some error. Okay, yeah, I didn't close it. So I will need to define the plan here. So let me define the plan here. We have free plan, premium. We have the ID, the plan, the reference ID. This is from the Better Odds documentation. So it could be other origin organization ID or user ID. Stripe customer ID, subscription ID status, previous time period cancel seat, trial start, trial end. So let's go ahead and add it into the user user model. So yeah, I'm just going to add it here, subscription. Then I'm going to also add Stripe customer ID. So I'll just copy this and scroll up, and let's just add it here like this. So now inside the Auth client, we are going to also add a plugin. So here I'm going to just add it after this. I will say plugins, and then let's import from BetterAuth Stripe um BetterAuth Stripe slash client, and let's import Stripe client. Copy this, come over here, paste it, and then let's say subscription. to, Uh, stop. So let me save this. Okay. So let's migrate. So I'll say npm run db migrate, which is in the package you're using script. So let's see, it is going to migrate and add a subscription table or model to uh it's going to create a table in a database. So I wait for this to migrate. So this has migrated data, the, the model to a database. So yeah, we're going to also create let's create a constance where we hold all our the plans itself. So I'm going to click on new file. I'm going to say constant.tx, and yeah, I'm going to create the enum. So yeah, let's write export constant plan enum, and we're going to just say free. It's going to be free, then plus will be of plus. Then we have premium. It's going to be of premium like this. So now we're going to also have the type. So I'm going to set the type here to plan enum type, and then this is going to be of type of plan enum, then key of type of plan enum like this. And if I hover this, so let me just change it to, if I hover over this, this should give us a string like this. Then I'm going to also export constant, sorry, export type. So I want to get the paid plan enum type is going to be equals to exclude plan enum type free like this. So this should give us this is not loading up. This should give us the plus and premium because we're using BetterAuth, and BetterAuth we not make charge you. We are not going to charge user for free plan, so we want to separate them. Then we are going to also we're going to also say constant upgraded upgradable plans is going to be equals to, let's just add both the plus and also the premium. Yeah, so now let's define the plans. The constant, export constant, plans is going to be equals to an array. And then we need to define ID. So ID is just added. So the key field required there for better auth is the name. The name is important. We're going to say plan enum. And note that this is going to be a smaller case. So that's why we set this in smaller case. Yeah. Then we need to also pass price. Price is going to be 0 for free plan. Then the price ID, which is required by better auth, we're going to set this to undefined. Sorry. Then we have the features. So I'm going to paste the features here. So I've pasted the features and also the limits. So these are the only things required for Stripe. I think the name, I think price ID and name. But all these ones are what we are going to use to show on the client side. We're going to show the features, the price, and then we're going to track the generations. So based on the duration, we are going to know when a user switch the limits of generating AI response. So the free plan has and then limits generation. Then we also have the plus here. So with the plus, we're going to get the ID, the price ID. We're going to go ahead and create that very soon. Then we're going to also get the premium ID too. So we're going to create the price ID, and this has infinity. So infinity means the user can create unlimited and can have unlimited generation. This has 300. So with this, we can take this plan. Let's see if this will not throw an error inside and better auth. So let's enable subscription and then let's pass in the plan. Let's import it. It's okay. It didn't show any error. So let's go ahead and get the price ID. And once we get the price ID, we'll go ahead and start working on the endpoints for upgrading user, and then we're going to also create uh, an action, server action for creating user subscription. Yeah, because BetterAuth is not going to actually create the subscription in our own database. Instead, it's going to create the customer on Stripe. And since the user is we have free user, we need to also create the user with a subscription. Then once user upgrade, then BetterAuth we handle the upgrading of user from it's going to upgrade the user based on the plans the user click on, whether it is plus or premium. So let's go to Stripe. So I'll go to Stripe. Let me click on Stripe and then let's go to products. Click on products here and then let's create the products. Click on this and then we're going to write the name. I'm going to call this wave.ai pro. And here we're going to say $12. I'm going to add this product. So it's going to add the product for us. So I'm going to click into this product. Here we can copy the price ID. And this product is going to serve for both $12 and also we're going to create another price. So I'm going to call this will be $24. And then I'm going to click on create price. So now we have two price for this product. So we can copy the $24. We can also copy the price, yeah. And then if we go over back to our code and let's paste it inside. So I'm going to paste it here. I'm going to paste this is a premium. And then I'm going to paste the plus on too. So then we're going to, let's save this, and then let's go into constant here. Let me also add as constant here. Now I can see the free plus and premium, and then I can see only plus and premium. So yeah, I'm just going to say constant. Let's say plus price ID plus price ID is going to be equals to process dot env dot stripe plus price ID. Let me change this to, I love to use it to capital letter price ID. So duplicate this and let's change this to premium price ID, and let's change this to premium price ID. So let's just copy this plus, come over here and let's say this here. And then let's copy premium price ID and paste it here too. So now we have the plans and a price ID. So let's go ahead and implement the subscription API. So I'll go over to API route and then let's click on subscription .tx here. So before we go ahead and work on the subscription that upgrades the user to a premium plan or a plus plan, let's create a action that actually creates the subscription for the user. So we can add it them you can add it inside this function here. So I'm just going to go to action. Then I'm going to collapse this here. Then I'm going to say export constant function. So export async function. And I'll say create default subscription. And then inside here, we're going to get the user ID. And this will be given to us by BetterAuth. And then we're going to also get the Stripe customer. Remember, I said in the auth, this is going to actually create the customer. So now we're looking at on create customer. So once BetterAuth creates the customer in Stripe, we'll get the Stripe customer ID. And in the schema, we are adding it in the subscription here. And you can see that here. We can add it. So we don't have any subscription yet, Stripe subscription ID, just only the customer. So I'm just go back to the action, and then let's say Stripe customer ID. Let's give this after a string here. So yeah, we're going to use try catch here. So inside here, we're going to say cost. So let's check if the existing Stripe subscription with the user ID. So I'm going to say existing subscription is equals to await Prisma dot, let's import Prisma dot subscription dot find first. So we're going to find where, and if you go to our schema, remember we set reference ID, which is defined uh by Stripe, I mean by BetterAuth, is going to hold the user ID. So we're going to use this to fetch the existing subscription for with the user ID. So I'm going to just go into action back. And then I'm going to, let me just copy this reference ID, then go over to action. Then I'm going to say user ID. So now we're going to check if existing subscription. So let's return if existing subscription. Yeah, let's return success. True. And then we say subscription. Subscription is going to be the existing subscription. So we don't want to create the subscription again for this user. So I'm going to say constant now subscription is equals to await prisma dot subscription dot create data. So we're going to pass in reference ID to user ID plan. So this is the initial we're creating the initial subscription for the sign up user. So I'm just going to say plan. So let's import plan enum plus free. And then we're going to pass in the Stripe customer ID. And then we're going to add status active here. So, and then let's just say return success. Yeah. And then we can say subscription here. And here we can just return success failed. I mean success false. And then error to create subscription. Then we can console log this error like this. So we can just copy this. We can call create default subscription. Okay, yeah. Or create free subscription. So I'll just go over to schema, not schema, Auth, and then here we're gonna say await, and let's paste it here. So here, if I open this, we can get the Stripe customer, and we can get the user. So I'm just gonna say constant user ID is equals to user dot ID, and then constant Stripe uh, s- Stripe customer ID is equals to Stripe customer dot, we can get the ID. Sorry, it should be semicolon. And then we can pass this here, passing the customer ID, and then we pass in the Stripe customer ID. So let's import this and let's make sure the user ID and the Stripe customer ID. So we are done with that. So we're going to test that by creating a new user. So before we do that, let's just go ahead and just create the endpoint itself to upgrade the user. Or let me just log out and let's try and test it out. So I'm just going to log out from this account. So let's wait for this to log out. So it has redirected me to the so I've clicked on the sign up. This sign up. I've provided a new email address and the password. So let's click on sign up and let's see. So I'm going to click on sign up, and then this is going to create the um, customer. Let's see. So it has created this user. So let's test it out. So I'm just going to go to my Prisma, sorry, package.json, and then okay, let's run npm db studio, npm run db studio. So let's wait for Prisma to run so we can check if it actually created the subscription for us, for this user, I mean. So okay, so let's just open this. Okay, it's loading up the so now we can see, if I look at subscription, we have a subscription. So if I click on this, you should see the data here, and we can see free plan, the user ID, the customer, Stripe customer. We have no subscribe, no status active, period, and then uh, the you can see that it's the free this thing, the plan is free. Yeah. So this is working. If I go over to user, we should see we have two user here, and we can see this is the user I just signed up with here. So great. So this is working. So let me go back to this, and I can cancel this. We don't need this. So this is working fine. So it has created a subscription for the free user. So let's implement the actual upgrade, and also create an endpoint to check generation limits for each of the each of the plans. So yeah, I'm just going to say export constant subscription subscription route is equals to new honor, and then let me go into route. Let's paste it here. Subscription, and let's import subscription. So now inside a subscription, we're going to have um the schema. So I'm going to say upgrade upgrade schema is equals to set Zod. Let's import Zod here. And then we're going to say dot object. And we have the plan. I'm going to pass in the plan. Plan is going to be Zod dot enum. And let's import plans. Plan enum dot plus, and then plan enum dot premium. So we're going to also pass in callback URL. It's going to be of type string, of minimum of 1. So now let's implement the actual upgrade endpoint. So post slash upgrade. And let's add a sort validator, JSON, then pass in the upgrade schema. Then let's also add the middleware, get auth user middleware, the async. Let's use try catch here. So inside here we can get the body from context dot request dot valid JSON, and then let's get the user equals to and context dot get user. So let's check for existing subscription is equals to await Prisma dot subscription dot find first where reference ID or user dot ID, and then status active, and then we can also say if existing if existing subscription dot plan is equals to body dot plan, then let's throw an error new HTTP exception 400, and then a message. I'll say you already have you are already on this plan on this on this plan. You're already on the we just puts body dot plan. So to upgrade we're going to say constant data is equals to await auth. Let's import auth dot API dot we'll have upgrade. You can see upgrade subscription. We're going to pass the plan body dot plan. Then we have the success URL. So I'm just going to say this is going to be body dot fallback URL. I'm going to say success true, and then we can have the cancel URL, which is going to be the same uh, body dot callback URL. We can just say success, or we can just say error true. Then I want to disable redirect because since we're calling this from the backend, once set this to disable redirect, we're going to handle the redirect on the client side by ourselves. Then I want to check if existing, sorry, let's check if existing subscription dot status is equals to active, and existing subscription does Stripe customer ID, Stripe subscription ID. We're going to say subscription. We're going to pass in the subscription ID here. You can see existing subscription dot Stripe subscription ID. Else, so the reason we are doing this check is because we are going to see use endpoints. If the user has upgraded to the plus plan and the user wants to uh, switch to another plan, like the premium plan, then BetterAuth requires to provide the subscription ID for that particular user so that you can switch from the existing uh, plan we are to the new plan. So that's why we are checking if we already have a Stripe subscription. Then, if this is active and we have a Stripe subscription, then we can provide the Stripe ID there. But if not, that means this is a new uh if there's no Stripe subscription ID, that means this is a new upgrade. But if we have an existing one, that means the person wants to switch to a different plan. And that's it. So after the body, we're going to pass in headers. And we're going to say context request dot raw or headers. So now we can just say return sage or JSON success true and then check out URL data.url. So error, I'm just gonna say any yeah. So I'm just gonna say if error instance of HTTP exception, then let's throw error. Then we just throw new HTTP exception 500 message failed to create checkout exception. Please try again. So we are done with the upgrade API. So now the next thing we're going to also implement here is to get the actual generation. So if I go over back to the constants, you can see that we have generation. So we need to keep track of generation. And once the user login, we call the generation endpoint, check generation endpoint, and check if the user is permitted to send a new message to ask the AI or make um, chat with the AI agent, or the AI agent is allowed to generate a response the if the generation limit as the user has exhausted the generation limit, then you're not going to you're not going to you're going to throw an error. So the AI is not going to give any response. So and we're going to also check for the generation limit too for the premium. So if it's infinity, the user can continue chatting with the AI agent. So I'm just going to go back to subscription and below I'm going to just say let's just put dots get and let's call this generation and then let's just pass in the get auth user async and let's just return the let's pass in the C and let's use try catch here. So yeah, we're going to get in the user is equals to dot get user and now we are going to create an action to actually check the um the generation limit. So the reason why we are going to separate it into a different file like inside the action is because we're going to be using that that function inside a chat. We're going to use it here too. So it will be used to verify the user can or the AI agent to respond to the user message. So, yeah, let us quickly go into the action and let's create that here. So I'm going to say export constant function, sorry, export async function. Let me close this. So check generation limits, and there we're going to pass in the user ID string, and it's a constant subscription. So let me just remove this. Constant subscription is equals to await Prisma dot subscription dot find first, where where reference ID is user ID, and then status is active. And we're going to check if not subscription. Let's throw an error, new HTTP exception for message, no active subscription. So let me just import HTTP exception. Okay. So now we need to say constant plan is equals to plans. So let's import plans dot find plan. Then we say plan, sorry, p dot name is equals to subscription dot plan. So we say we're trying to get the plan. So say if not plan, and let's also throw a new HTTP exception. We can say 400 message, no plan, no subscription. Okay, no subscription plan or invalid plan. No subscription or invalid plan. So now let's say constant generation count. So we're going to count the messages. We say await Prisma dot message dot count, where chat, we're going to fetch user ID, where chat has the user ID is user ID. I'll just leave it like this. So the message does not have, if you check the schema, message does not have user ID directly. It has through the chat. So from the chat we have the user ID. So and then we're going to find the role assistance. And then we're going to say created as we're going to track created as we're going to count from when greater than. We're going to track count based on the time the user starts the subscription. So I'm just going to get the period starts. We're going to say subscription dot period starts. If there's no subscription dot period starts, currently if you're a free user, you don't have any subscription dot period starts, we're going to just say new dates. Let's just duplicate this and then let's say period end. So I'll just say this to new date 0. So this is going to we're going to pass in the plan. So this is going to just give us like far beyond just it's just a fallback if the user does not have a period start. Then this is going to give us today, but it's going to give us like 1970 something, and then end is going to be today. So this is just going to keep the 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 count to be between this and this. So when the user actually upgrade, then we start counting based on the period start and also a period. Sorry, it should be period end. The period end. So let me just pass it here. So starts and then end is going to be less than by this. So let's just count generation count. Then below here we can set is allowed is equals to plan dot limit generation. If it's equals to infinity or generation count is less than plan dot limits dot generations. So this is tracking if the generation is infinity, so it's going to set it to true. Or if generation count is less than uh, the limit, then you're going to keep this. So if the generation count is less than the limit, it's going to be true. But if not, it's going to set the is allowed to false. So let's also get the maximum limit. It's going to be equals to math dot maximum is set and plan dot limit dot generations minus generation count. So now we have the limits now. We have the max limit. So we'll say has paid subscription is going to be equals to subscription dot stripe subscription ID. Let's return. I think this is not the way to track it. What if our 300 generation has expired? So I'm just going to remove this. I think we can say if it's um say subscription dot stripe um subscription ID. If this is true, has paid subscription. Yeah, okay, we can pass it. Then we're going to check on the client side if this is true and if it's allowed. Then we are going to allow the user to send. But if not allowed, if this is false and this is true, we are still not going to allow the user to um, send the message to the AI agent. So this is just only to track if the user has a paid subscription. So I'm just going to say it's allowed, and then I'm going to just pass has paid subscription, and then I'll say the plan is going to be subscription dot plan, and then we'll say generations use is going to be generation count. Then we have the generation limit is going to be plan dot limit and dot limit dot generations is equals to infinity. Then I'll set it to null. Else we just say plan dot limit dot generation. So if it's a premium plan which is unlimited, You're going to just set it does not have any generation limits. Then we can say remaining generation is going to be, let's just copy this, paste it here. So here I'm just going to say unlimited, and there I'm just going to pass in the max limit here like this. So let's also pass in the period start and period end too. We don't actually even need it, so I'll just remove it. We don't need it. We don't need that. So I think that's it. So I think that is it. So let's go over to subscription, and there we're just going to import generation limits, check generation limits, and then let's return c.json success true, and then data. We're just going to pass in data. So yeah, I'm just going to say, let's just come over here and copy this. Let's paste this here. And then yeah, I'm just going to say fail to retrieve generations, to retrieve generation data like this. So we're going to also still copy this, and let's go to the chat API. So I'm just going to come over here and let's go into chat. And after this here, I'm just going to say constant is equals to await check generation limits. Let's pass in the user.id, and then let's just get is allowed. And then I'm going to say if not is allowed, then let's throw an error, new HTTP exception. We say 403 message generation limits reach like this. So we'll be able to handle the generation limit in the chat, and also we have this here. So let's go ahead and let's go ahead and go into features, and let's create use subscription .tx. So yeah, we're going to set the type. It's going to be request upgrade upgrade subscription type is equals to interfere. Let's import that from Honor interfere request. Interfere request. Sorry, not inter. Okay, yeah, we can see it here. Infer request, and then we can set the type of API. Let's import API from the Honor lib Honor RPC dot subscription dot upgrade, then dot post, and let's set an array here, and let's pass in JSON. So let's just duplicate this, and let's just change this to response. And here let's also change this to response. And let's just remove JSON here. So let's say export constant use upgrade subscription. Let's return use mutation. Let's also pass in the type. So first of all, let's copy the response on. Let's it here. Let's add error and let's add a request. So like this. Now inside here, we're just going to pass in an object. We're going to pass in the mutation function and then let's say async JSON and let's return this. So it's a constant response is equals to await API dot subscription dot upgrade dot post and let's pass in JSON here. So let's return await response dot JSON. Okay, the error stop. So yeah, I'm just gonna say on success. Let's return this. So we can get data. So we check if data dot checkout URL, then let's say window dot location dot ref is equals to data dot checkout URL. And then let's say on error, and let's just toast this import toast from Sona dot error. I'll say error dot message failed to upgrade subscription. So this we are done with this. So let's work on the other one, which is the generations constant use user. We can call use user subscription. Use user. Okay, or let's just check it to um use check generations. Let's just return this. Let's say return use um query. Let me copy this and let's come over to stack query. And let me just paste it. And there I'm going to say query key is going to be generation and then query function async constant response is equals to await API dot subscription dot generations dot get if not a response dot okay then throw error failed to fetch generation. Sorry, response. And then we're going to use a constant equals to await response dot JSON. And let's get the data from here. And let's return data. So yeah, we want this to refresh. I just want this to refresh amount true, refresh um refresh and reconnect true. Okay. So let's say this to I wanted to add refresh window focus. I'm just going to leave that part. Let's use it. So now we are done with the API. So let's go ahead and start implementing the user interface. So if you go into route, you can go into dashboard and let's go into billing. Let's create a page .cxx. Let's say RAFCE billings. So let's have div here. Let's have our class name. So here we're going to say widthful and then widthful minimum height auto. And there let's just have, let me just even copy this and let's place this here. And then let's get headers title. Title, we can set title to um billings and let's give this widthful maximum width 6XL MX auto. And let's have a div here. Last name widthful. So yeah, we're going to have the pricing section. We're going to create that here. So let me just comment this out. So let's check this out. Let's go into billing. So yeah, it's not showing the title. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into header and then I'm going to also pass in title is only show when we have this show action. So what I'm going to say uh if not show action and title, then let's say div h h1 h2 and let's just pass title. Let's have class name of text to Excel and font both. So let's see. Let me check if it's going to compile and let's see if it's true. Let's see. Let me reload this page. So now we can see the billing. We can see the billing here. So this is good. So let me check it on smaller view. Oh, sorry. Okay, we can see it. We can see the billing when the sidebar pushes it. So this is not going to show. Hmm. Mm, okay. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to do the same thing I did here. I'm just going to copy this, come over here, I will say class name CN. Let's see. Let's say it's going to just push this on last screen. We can give it to 50 pixel. Mm. So this is not working. Um, Let me see where do we have the header. So I'm thinking the header, should I make it not fixed to the top? Let me remove this fix and let's see. Where I can see the billing now. So I said it's not fixed. No, let me save it. I think it's showing now. It's showing now. So let me just zoom in. Okay. So we can see the billing. So just change the size on small view. Uh, let's change to large. Mid small we have text, large, extra large. Yeah. So let's go into billing page and then let's go ahead and create the pricing section. So I'm going to create a folder. I'm just going to call it comma and then I'm just going to say pricing section and let's say RASCE pricing section. So let me copy this, come over to page and then let's just enable this. Let me remove this comment and let's import it. So we should be able to see the price name there. So now let's just import constant. Let's say it's to use client. And then let's import use check generations. Mm, yeah. So yeah, we can just get the data and get the spending. It's error and error. So yeah, we still also want to get um the use upgrade subscription. Yeah, we say mutate say is pending. This is going to be, we're going to change this to is upgrading. So as a constant use, sorry, um, upgrade. So let's change this to on upgrade. And let's just pass in plan, which is going to be of type page plan. And let's just return this if is upgrading. And let's just return. Then we say mutate. We're going to pass in the plan and then plan. Then callback URL. We're going to set window dot location dot origin slash billing like this. So now let's just create a div. Let's give this a class name. Flex item center cap 2 margin bottom 2, and let's give h2 class name text um as a text base large, and then large we receive and text extra large, font medium, and here we just say all plans. Then we can just give this an icon of info. So import it from the React. Let's give it a class name. We say class name text muted foreground, width 4, height 4. So below here, let's just come down here. We are going to have a div class name rounded large, and then we're going to just give this a border. And then let's have a div class name grid 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 columns border B border bottom. So let's just remove this. And then inside here we're going to have a div, and let's just have this class name padding 6 here. So I just want to occupy a single column here. Why we're going to have the card say plans dot map. So let's import plans dot map plan, and let's just open this. So we're going to create a plan card. So inside a plan card, we're going to pass in, we're going to set the key first. We're going to say plan dot id, and we're going to actually pass the plan, which is of plan. Then we pass in the data, which is going to be the let's call it the let's call it subscription. Let's just call it subscription user data. Mm. Let's call it subscription. I'll copy it. I'm going to paste it here. So yeah, I'm going to just say um, loading is going to be equals to is pending. Then error is error dot message. We say failed to load. No. Then we're going to also pass is upgrading. Let's pass is upgrading. And then let's pass on upgrade. is going to be on upgrade by this. So let's create a component here. So I'm just going to say plan card.cxx race plan card. So let's create a props here. Interface props. So here we're going to have the plan. I'm going to set this to type of plan, and let's just wrap this here, and let's add a number here. Yeah, we have the subscription, so I'm just going to put that, and let's import the plan type, and then we have the loading, which is of type boolean. Then we have error, which is of type string or null. We have the is upgrading, is of type boolean. Then we have on upgrade, which is a method, which is a void, and we're going to pass in the plan with the type of paid plan minimum type, and that is it. So let's just let's get the props, and then I want to change, I want to set this to react.memo as a plan card dot display name is equals to plan card. So let's just set the type to props, and then let's just import. Sorry, not here. Let's just set it like this. So let's say plan subscription loading error is upgrading on upgrade like this. So scroll down, and then here we are going to, so here we're going to get some stuff from here. So I want to identify the plan that is popular. So I'm going to set the premium to popular. So I'll say is popular is going to be equals to plan name dot name is equals to plan. Let's import this dot premium. So now we're going to also set is current, which is the current plan we are on. It's going to be equals to subscription dot plan is equals to plan dot name. So let me just fix this over here. Then we want to also check if we have if it has paid subscription, then we can change the button text. So I'll say action is going to be equals to subscription and dot has subscription. Then we're going to say if we have subscription, we just say switch and plan, else we just say upgrade. So now we need to also get generation use is going to be equal to if is current, then we can say subscription dot generation use, then 0. Sorry, let's wrap this. and let's set else to 0. So we can also do for the limit, also constant to generations limit is equals to if is current. So we're going to only show this uh, generation use and generation limits only if it is a current is current plan. So I'm going to say subscription dot remaining, sorry, generation limits else now. So we are going to also uh, copy again. Let's also handle remaining generation. Then we're going to also change this to remaining generations here. So now let's calculate the percentage. The percent use is going to be equals to, we're going to check generation limits, and generation limit is greater than 0, so it's not null. Remember, we set the premium to null, generation limit to null, so we're going to check if we have generation limit and generation limit is greater than 0, then we can calculate the percentage use. So I'll say math dot minimum generation use. So we're going to tell the generation use divide generation limits. And we're going to multiply it by 1000. Sorry, by 100. And let's pass in. Um, let's wrap this. Sorry, we're going to wrap this, and then let's just pass 100 here. So we're going to times it by 100, and then we're going to add comma here. So here we're going to just say else 0 like this. So now let's create the actual components. So div class name flex column p padding 6 border left, and let's give a div here. Say class name flex 1 and div again name, we're going to say flex item center justify stats. Then we're going to give gap 2 and margin bottom 2. So here we're going to just say history, and there we're just going to call it plan dot name. Just going to set it to lowercase, and then we're going to also give this a class name, and the class name we're going to set this to capitalize text extra large. So text large, and then font semi bold. So now we have set the heading. So after the heading, we're going to set is popular. We're going to set the badge. So it's popular. If it's popular and not is current, so we're not going to show the badge of popular on the plan that is current. If since we are setting premium to popular, if premium is the popular is the current subscription, so there's no need to show the popular badge there. So this is it, and let's import badge from UI components, and let us say popular. Let's give this a class name of bj primary, capacity of 0.1, text primary, and text extra small. So we want to also do the same thing for if it's current, then we're going to show that this is the current plan. So I'm just going to remove popular here. Then I'm going to just set the batch to current. So for current, it's just going to be the same thing, but we're just going to change the background color to gray 200, then text gray 700, like this. So now outside this div, you're going to create a div. Let's give this a class name of padding button 4. And then inside here, we're going to create a div. And div is going to have a class name which we're going to actually show you price. So text base, font normal. And then I just set dollar, then plan dot price. Then let's add span. And here I'm just going to say per month bill. Let's have a class name, text small, text muted foreground, margin left 1. So now we want to want to show the progress. So I'm just going to let's come down after this div, and then let's say if is current. Remember, I want to show the progress only for the current plan. So I'm going to set a div here. We're going to say class name, margin button 4, text small, text muted foreground. Now we need to say generation if generation limit is equals to null, which is a premium. You're just going to say just give this a text of unlimited generation, like this. Then I'll just say else. We're going to say remaining generation, and then we'll say generation limits. And then let's just say generation limits, generation left. So yeah, we're going to have a div, and this is going to have a class name, waitful, height 2, bg gray 200. Let's give this a rounded of full, overflow hidden, then margin top 1. Inside here, we're going to have a div again. It's going to be the class name. So this is going to be a self-closing tag. Let's say height 2. Let's give this a bg of orange 500, rounded full. Then transition. Transition. Let's give transition all. Then duration 300. Then we're going to just give this a style, width, and then we're just going to copy percent use, and let's just add it here. So then after this div, let's also add error. We're going to say div. Sorry, let's not set error first. Let's say if loading, let's just set skeleton, class name, height 6, width 28, rounded medium. Then else, say if error, let's give this a div. You can say error here, and let's just give it class name, text small, text instructions. So here we say if it's current and then plan dot name is not equals to plan dot free, then we're going to actually show the button. Let's show a button here for, and let's call this a manage. Yeah, so here we're going to just say else. Let's change this to variant outline like this. So yeah, we're going to also check, say if, let's import this upgradable plans dot include plan dot name. We set as paid plan type. Then we're going to say button. Let's just set this to no. So yeah, we're going to say vagrant. Vagrant. We're going to set this to if it's popular. Then we're going to set this to default. Else outline. Then let's have a class name. Import cn. And then let's say cursor pointer. And there, if it's popular, let's say bg primary over opacity 80 and text white. So let me import cn from let's import cn from utils. And then we say disabled is upgrading, then on click. We're going to say on upgrade plan dot name as paid enum type. Then here we're going to say if it's upgrading, let's show a loading. Let's use loader. So import loader. Else just passing the action. So here just a class name, width for, height for, animate spin. So we are done with this. So let's go to pricing and let's import this. So below here we're going to also Let's check this out. Undefined. Okay. Let me go back and set this to undefined. Okay, it's undefined. Copy and subscription is undefined. Why is it throwing some error again? Okay. So I fixed the error. So just go into the action, then change the subscription. I think I forgot to pass S. So just change others, update this too. Then come over to the pricing, to the plan card, and then just update this here, and the error should stop. So now we can see this is showing. So just go over to pricing, and then let's just set this to flex item center cap one. So I'll just remove it instead by this. So we need to also display the features. So below here, so yeah, let me just come down here. So let's have our div here, class name, and then we're going to say grade column, let's say it's 4, pg grade 50 of opacity of 0.5, let's say to 0.8. And on that screen, you're going to have pg secondary, and let's just give it 0.4. Then we're going to say minimum height 56, then padding bottom 5 here. So inside there, we're going to have, let's have a div, and let's say this class name, padding 6, and let's get h4, let's say highlights, and let's just give it a class name of font medium, like this. So we are going to also look through the features. So say plan dot map. We're going to just say plan dot map. Then let's look through the plan. Let's return. We're going to create a component called feature row. Let's just say key is going to be plan dot name, and then we'll say features is going to be equals to plan dot features. Right, so let's create this feature row inside this blank card here. So I'll just do that here, layer, or we can just create a separate component. Let's just create it here. Export constant feature row. So let's say react.memo as a feature row dot display name is equals to feature row. So I'm going to let's say features is going to be of type features string array like this. So yeah, let's return div last name padding sys border border space space y set y 3, and let's look through the features. We're going to get a feature and index, and let's do div, and let's pass in the key index, and here let's have a class name flex item center gap to text small. Let's import check icon for react class name width for height for flex string 0, and then text muted foreground, and let's have span feature like this. So I'll just remove this border, we don't need it. So let's come over here to feature pro and let's just import this. And now we should be able to see, let me reload this. So let's test it out. We are done with the plan. So we are also going to have to go and let's check this. So let's first test this out. Then we'll go ahead and we can see this. So let's go. Let me go back and modify this flex item center gap. Yeah, each row. I think this is okay. Let's test it out. So I'm just going to click on this. I want to upgrade. I think there's much space here. Let's let me modify this so that we use the space. Okay, I think uh, patch. Yeah, so I think it has fixed it. Then let me set this to okay. Um, wait for padding left free by this and MB1. Okay, so let's click on this upgrade button and let's see. So why is it not working? On upgrade. Sorry, this should be if upgrading returns. So that's why it's not working. So let's make sure this is yield. So let's click on upgrade and this should work now. And this should take us to now we can see it's redirecting us to Stripe. And cool. Let's provide a card. It's a card. And here I'm just going to provide a card, a test card. And then let me click on pay. So I'm just going to say pay. Let me say Johnny D. and I'll click on subscribe, and this is going to take us, redirect us back to, oh, this is not going to work. This is going to work. We are not listening for the, I think we've made a mistake. We're not listening for the event. So let's see if this is going to upgrade. And we can see that I didn't upgrade the user. So I think it's an error. We didn't upgrade the user. So let's first of all go to the, let's go to Stripe, or let's go to BetterAuth documentation. And if you look at here, we say we need to make sure we I think we need to set up the webhook locally. And we didn't provide the secret. Remember, we didn't provide the webhook secret. I think, yeah. If I scroll up, so we have not provided a Stripe webhook secret. So let's go ahead and create that. So what we're going to do, let's come over to developer, click on webhook, and then click on test with so click on test with local listener, and let's log in with Stripe. So once we log in with Stripe, then we can go ahead and then and use this and test with this and run this here. So instead of localhost 4242 webhook, you're going to say localhost 3000 API or Stripe webhook. So let's go straight to our code, and then let's log into Stripe here. So open a new terminal, clear this, and I'm just going to paste this here. Click on Stripe, and then let's just copy. So you can see, I'll just copy this. I'll copy it, then let me go over to this page, and let's open a new tab and paste it here. And this is going to ask for verification. So let's wait for this to load. So this is going to ask you to provide the code sent to your email. So I'm just going to paste the code, and then once you paste the code, we can see it's going to allow. With AI, you can see the sandbox account we're on. I'll click on allow, and then this is going to, I'll just go over to the code, and you should be able to see the secret key. Sorry, okay, I didn't see yeah. So let's try and listen. Okay, so I'm just going to go back to BetterAuth, and then come over to BetterAuth. Let's go scroll down to the end, and let's copy this. So copy it, and then let's go back to code, and then let's paste it here. So just set this to HTTP, and then just click on enter, and this should generate you can see it. It has given us the webhook secret. So I'll copy this, and I'm going to paste it in my terminal. I mean, sorry, in my env. So let me scroll down to this. So I've pasted it here. So we Stripe webhook secret, and let's go into the auth. Uh, sorry, lib auth, and then we've added it already here. So if you go back to Stripe, then BetterAuth has already subscribed the user. That's created a subscription for the user. So I'll just cancel this. Let me close this. If I go over to customer, click on this user. This, you can see this user has an active subscription. Well, let's go back to the code and check this. Let's check. Currently, we don't have the user is still in free plan here. So we are not updating the subscription because of the event. We're not listening to the event. So what we're going to do is I'm going to let me sign up with a new user and test it out again. So I'll log out from this user and try a new user. So let me log out from this user and then let's so let me sign up with a new user now. So change this email. Then I'm going to sign up with this user. So once I sign up, let's wait for this user. So I've signed up with a new user. So if I go over to billing, we should say we are still in free generation. So before we test it out, let's first of all test let's go to chat and let's test our home. Let's go back to home and let's test if the generation usage is working. So I just say hi, what's your name? So I'm just basically going to ask the AI some. I'm just going to ask the questions. So I think we're having issue with this. So let me just go back up to common header and let's add the fix back. So I say fix on top but the top 0. So I'm just going to ask random questions so that we can exhaust the um, limits here. So let me do that. So and we can see that I've reached the generation limit which you can see if I try to say, ask any question like hi, you see it will see true that error. You should be able to see 403. We have reached the limit. So if I go over to billing, so let me click on billing. I should be able to see that I've exhausted uh all the limits, generation limits, and we should see you can see that the bar has filled to 0/10 generation left. So let's try and upgrade now. So to upgrade, this is already you can see that this is running. So let's just click on upgrade now. Um, let me make sure we're able to see we're getting the Stripe uh, web hook secret. Okay. So let's click it. I'll click on upgrade now. And let's see. So this will redirect us to Stripe and let's see if this will work. So I'm going to provide my card and then I click on subscribe and then this should if I click here we should be able to see the event here. We can see the event is moving up and this should redirect us to billing and this we should be able to strive and BetterAuth should have updated our subscription model. So this is still loading. Yeah. Okay, let's wait for this to load. So now we can see we are in the plus plan. This is great. This is great. So I could go back on charts now. I'll go back to home. And it's still compiling. Let me test it now. Say, hi, what can you do? I should be able to see that it's working now. So it's working. It's working fine. So we can test it and see that this is working. So let's go ahead and test the switching of plan from from plus, and you can see this is showing 299. Really. So this is working. So let's click on switch plan, and then let's wait for this to load. So we have an error. Uh, and the error. Okay, we are not. Let me go to the API and subscription. Okay, let's console log the error. And then let's click on it again. So we can see the error now. So it's saying no configuration provided and your test mode default configuration has not been created. Please provide a configuration of create your defaults by saving your customer portal setting in test mode. This is so let's go back, let's go to Stripe, and then in Stripe let's go to settings. So click on settings. Let's go to customer support, customer portal. Just click on billing, and then let's click on customer portal. And then if we scroll down, we can see payment method. Okay, not payment method. Subscription. Yeah, we can see customer can switch plan. So click on yes, and then we need to add a product. So I will add the plus. So user can switch from the so close. User can switch from the $12 plan to the $24 per month plan. So I'm just going to save this. So scroll up, where's the save button? Okay, click on save changes here. And now we should go ahead. Let's go back to the code and let's test it out now. So I'll just click on switch plan here. And let's see. And it's going to work. And we can see it works. So let's wait for this solo. So we can see that we're in the Wave AI. Why is it showing like this? So Wave AI Pro. And now if I click on confirm, this is going to confirm. And we can see that if I go over to the webhook, we can see that this is moving here. And it's going to redirect us back to the billing page. So we're waiting for it to redirect us. So let's wait for this. Okay. Okay, redirect us to home. So let's just click on this and click on billing now. Let's click on billing and let's wait for the rejection ratio. Okay, now we can see that this is working. This is working fine. So we are done with the sorry. We are done with the billing page. We confirm. We are done with the billing page and we can be able to test all of this now. So we've tested all of this. So the last thing we're going to go and do is let me create a note. is testing. So let's go ahead and work on that here. So just try in and sign into your account, or you sign up. So I already have an account, so I'm just going to log in. So once you sign up, and this is where it's going to bring you into. So let me close it. So with TestSprite, we can test our API application. So there are two ways to test. You can use locally with MPC, NCP directly from your AI agent, or from our VS Code Copilot, or you can directly test. Um, you can already test directly from here, but this requires us to deploy our app before we test. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to test the API locally. We are going to be using the MPC to test the app. So to test the app locally, let's come over to, if you click on test locally here, you will see how to test. So you click on quick install, and then you will see how to set up TestSprite MPC in your editor. So since I'm using other IDE, you can just uh, copy this like this, or you can just cancel this and just go straight to the documentation. Click on documentation. Before we go ahead and click on documentation, let's first of all set up our API keys. So click on the API keys, click on add new API. So I'll call this Wave AI, and then click on create, and then you should make sure you copy this key, this API key, then close it. Then let's go over back to MPC test. Then click on documentation, and then in the documentation, you should be able to go straight. You should be able to see how to set up MPC. So I'll just scroll down to where we have MPC installation. Okay, let's go to installation here. Yeah, if you go down to where we have, you should be able to see VS Code. Yeah, we should be able to see VS Code here, and you can just copy like this and then install it in VS Code. So let's go back to our code and let's set it up. So I'll go back to our code. So inside our code to set this up, so let's set up MPC. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just, you can just come over, you can search like this, just to MCP, and you can click on add server, or we can click on the Google Copilot here, and then just click on tools here, and this is going to add MPC. So I'm just going to do that. So let's click on this, and once you click on this icon, click on, you can see MPC here, right here. Just click on this, and then we can just click on command here, and then paste. Let's paste this. Let me just paste it here. So I'll just paste this here, and then click on enter, and this should add. So I'll just call this test sprites, and then click on enter, and then you can add this globally or add it to your workspace. So I'll just pick anyone. So I'll just pick workspace so we can see this. So if I open my, if I press Control B, sorry. So this has added it. So I'll just click on trust, and then we should be able to see it has added it in our local workspace. So I just will click on enter. Then we need to, if we go over back to the documentation, you should be able to see how to add the API key. So you have to just copy this. Once you copy this, then let's go back to the code, and then we're going to paste it inside here. So after the arguments, we're just going to paste it here. So I've pasted the API key here, and I'm going to say, so I'm just going to delete this API key after this video. So if I open, let me just close this copilot, and then if I come over like this, and let me open, let me show this. If I click on extension, you can see TestSprite is showing here. So if I click on TestSprite now, we can see that TestSprite is added to our MPC server. So now we can simply ask TestSprite to test all of our API. Remember in the authentication, we added BetterAuth token. So if I go straight to Auth, remember we added Bearer. The reason why we added it is because we want to use we are going to use it to let TestSprite authenticate with our account, this account we have already with an account to test the APIs here. So inside your route, it's going to say TestSprite to test all of these API chats, notes, and the others here. So to do that, I'm just going to let me close this now. So we are going to go ahead and test. So let's go to the documentation again. If we go over to the documentation, and then let's just go to sorry, let's go into TestSprite, the dashboard. And if you click here, if you come over here, you will see a simple um a simple thing to type, a simple prompt to type. Just click on hey test this project with TestSprite. So I'm just going to copy this, and then I'll go back to my code. And if I go back to my code, I'll be able to tell TestSprite to test this out for me. So I'm just going to close this, and then I can just open Copilot. And I'm going to just paste this here. So I'm going to say, hey, test and test the API, test the API in this project, exclude auths, exclude. I'm going to just tell it to exclude auths. So let me check the auths. This is app API auth folder. So I'm just going to exclude auths, exclude API slash auths, and then this is going to exclude the auths API. So if we click on it, so before we do that, let us get the the token. Let's go to application, click on application, and then inside where we have Pira, so I'm just going to I'll just open this. So I think this is not storing the Pira token. So let me try and sign in again. So I will log out from this user, and then let me just copy this prompt here first, and um let's go to the sign in form, and let's see we are getting the it's a set, and we're setting the bearer token. So let me log in. So I'm waiting for this to redirect to the login page. So we're in the login page. So I'm just going to inspect this, and I'm going to go into network. Let me just move over to let me come over here, and let's just go to localhost. So let me just reload this. So let me click on sign in now. If I click on this, I'll click on headers, and I'm going to drag this up, and we should wait for the response header, and we should be able to see, you can see it here. So just copy this. I've copied this. So if you copy it, if you go back to application, even though you did not copy it, you can still see it here. So I'll click on application, and we can just copy this like this. Yeah. So let me just copy this, and let's head over to our code. And now let's open uh let's open Copilot, and then let's try it out too. So just click on enter, and this will. So I'm just going to use Claude here, Claude, and let's click on enter. So you should wait for this to start testing with TestSprite. So it's working. So now you can see it's trying to search for the files, and I should be able to should wait. It's reading the files, and you can see. So now it's reading the files. Let's wait for this. So now it's understand the application. So now it's trying to access TestSprite here. So if I open this now, and let me close everything here. So we need to just open. Let me just close this. I'll just drag this. Let me drag this. So I'll just close this UI. So let me drag this out so we can see it. So now let's click on continue, and this is going to, let's click on trust, accept. Then it's going to open the browser for us. So let me wait for this. And if I head over to the browser, we can see it has opened a page. Also, we can configure the test. So this is the backend. So now we're going to click, so select bearer token, and then we need to paste in the bearer token here. So I'm just going to paste this here. So I've pasted the bearer token. So make sure it's exactly the bearer token. So now this is our port. So I'm going to paste in the product PSD, the specification document. This is just like a document of the APIs we have. So I'm just going to upload. I'm going to put that in the GitHub. So let me click on continue, and this is going to say it has uploaded. So let's go back to the code, and then let's see this. It's going to, so it's working now. So now it's trying to generate a code summary. So I'm just going to click on enter, and then you can see it has created a folder for us here. And this is the document I provided. It's just an MD file. It just shows the API and the Node API and stuff. So let me just remove this. And then let's click on create and continue. And this is going to create the generate code summary. So let's wait for this. So now it wants me to generate the code summary. So I'm going to click on continue. So it generate the code summary. And let's wait for this to generate. So let's wait for this. Um, so now it has generated the code summary, and we can look at it. We can see the code summary. So I just click on keep. So it keeps. I click on keep, and then we can look at all of the endpoints here. We have the notes down to to the subscription API. So yeah, so say yes, proceed. So now it's going to go ahead and generate the standardized PRD. So okay, let's go on continue. So before creating the backend test plan, it's going to generate the PRD first. So you can see it wants to generate the PRD, so I'll say continue. So let's wait for this to generate the okay, it has generated the PRD, and we can look at it here. So now it's going to go ahead and create the business test plan. I mean the backend test plan, sorry. So we should wait for this. We should see it here. Now it has created it, and we can look at it. So now it's going to go ahead and start to execute the test itself. So let's just click on continue. And then let's wait for this. Okay. It's going to say now it wants to run um the test itself. So just click on continue. So now you can see that it has started running the test. And if I drag this up, we should see that it will start showing progress there. So I'm going to pause it so it completes actually the test. So it's going to take them one after the other, and then it's going to complete it. So hopefully we should be able to pass the test. Okay, you can see we have one test passed. So it's going to try out the next one, which is create notes. It's going to go ahead to update notes after the create notes pass or fail. Then delete notes, then get all notes. then it will go ahead and so two has passed. Wow. So two has passed. So hopefully we should be able to move ahead to three tests to pass. So I'll just wait so this pass this completes, then let's just wait for this to complete. So we can see that it has complete. So 7 pass, 3 fail. So let's wait for this to generate the report. So it's going to generate the report, and then let's wait for this. So we can look at the code here. We can see this is going to just give us the test report, and it's going to tell us the reason why some fail. I think um, the first one pass, which is the health, then create not pass. We can see that you can see it here. And if I scroll down, you can see pass, create not pass. You can see update note. If I scroll down, update note pass. We can see delete note, think delete note pass, which is great. Then we have get all notes, some pass. Then we have get single note pass. Then if you scroll down to, I think this is chat. Okay, we failed in chat. I think we can see that it's giving us a report here. If I keep all of this, then we can look at it as a test report. 7 pass 3 fail. So it's a create notes pass, update notes pass, delete notes pass, get all notes with pagination pass, get specific notes pass. For chat API pass, a return form, the bad request, MP validation issue. Okay, return form, the bad request. Then subscription API, return 500 internal server error. I think the last one is 2. Okay, okay, 1, 2, 2 fail, and then 1 fail. So this is great. We are able to see that it tested the uh, endpoints, and then it gave us feedback on why some fail. So this is, I think this was giving a validation is based on what it tried to pass. So if I scroll down to where we have where it said to fail, I think this is it. If I scroll down here, we can see, okay, not this one. You can see what it was trying to do here, and then what made it to fail. So that is it. That is it. So we can go ahead and if I click here, we should be able to see the report. So I'll scroll down to where we see the reports. You can click here to see the reports. So let me just scroll down to where we have the failed test, and then we can be able to see that's because of the API results. Instead of expected 200, okay, but 403 when starting or continuing a chat. So and we can also go over to TestSprite dashboard and also see all of the tests that was done here. We can also see it in the dashboard. So if I go over to TestSprite dashboard, and we should be able to see the tests here, we can see all of the tests here, and you can see the type backend. So this is great. So we are going to go ahead and create a new test here once we deploy. So we're going to do that once we deploy. So let's go ahead and deploy this application and come over here and test the front end part of the application. So before we go ahead and deploy our application, we need to first of all change the way we are using Prisma. So instead of using Prisma directly, we need to add the Prisma accelerator. I noticed that this will fail when we deploy on Vercel. So we need to use this. We need to use the extension accelerate, and which is going to work for us. Then we're going to copy this, and once you copy this, before you go ahead and paste this, let's just first of all scroll down to where we have neon with accelerate. So we need to use this because it's going to give us issue when deploying to VCU. So once you scroll down, we can see how to use it. So we need to add the connection string hosted on neon, typically like this. You need to add it in Prisma. So what you have to do is to scroll down. Once you scroll down, you need to install this. We've already done that. Then we need to log into Prisma console. So click on login, and once it open, I've already logged in already. If you click that, you will sign up. So I already signed up already on this account. So let's look at the documentation again. So you need to click on a new project. So click on new project, and once you click on new project and choose starting project products section, find a service card and click. So let's go back and scroll around, and yeah, let's click on this. Then we need to paste the connection string. So let's go over back to our code. And yeah, I'm just going to first of all, let's go into Prisma and let's replace this with the accelerate. And then once you replace that, let's scroll down. Let's copy let me copy this, the connection string. And then let's go back um, to Prisma documentation. So here we're going to paste it inside here. So when we paste it here, if you look at the paste it, then select the region, then click on create project. So let's just scroll down. I'll just click on this, and I can click on create project here. Hmm. So I think be restricted to create another project. So let me fix that. So I saw the issue, just go up. I forgot to pass in the name. So I'm just going to pick a name. Then scroll down and let's click on create a new project. And then once we create a project, the pin goes here. So now the next thing we are going to do is to enable accelerate. So once you enable that, we need to generate API key. So let's click on this. So now we need to copy this. So just copy this. Once you copy this, then we can see how to use it inside. I think it's inside the documentation. Just scroll down. We can see you need to pass direct to point to. So the database URL will be the Prisma Accelerate, where direct URL will be the Neon Postgres URL. So I'm just going to copy. We're going to update these two, so I'll just copy both of them. And then let's go back to the code and let's paste it there. And let's go back to the code. So we're going to paste it inside the env. So I'm just going to do that now. So I've pasted it here, you can see. So let's go into Prisma schema, Prisma, and let's update this. So I'm just going to add it here. So I've added both of it now. You can see direct URL, database URL. So just click on save. And then once you have done that, let's just close this. Then inside the app, I think I have some modification I did in the on some things I forgot to add. So I made this max, so it's supposed to be MX auto. Then in the billing, come over to pricing section. Then I forgot to pass in the 4, so just pass it here. So let me just run the server, open one dev. So let me go to the browser and let me open the localhost 3000. And we can see that it's working fine. So it's working correctly. So let's go over to GitHub and let's create a new repo. So I've clicked on create a new repo. Just give it a name. So let's click on create repository. And I'm going to click on create repository. And this is going to create a repository for us. So scroll down and let's copy all of this. I'm just going to copy this git remote. And then let's head over to the code. and just create a new terminal. And then I'm going to say git add. So it's going to add all of this here. So make sure you add the git signal. If you add everything that you need to add. So I'm just going to remove this. And then I'm going to say git commit. I'll say first commit. And let's click on enter. So this is going to, so why is it like this? So let me clear the, and then let's add the remote origin. So I'm just going to paste it here and click on enter. Then we are already in main. So I'm already in main. So you can just make sure you check out to main. So I'm just going to push, and then this should push our changes, our code to the repository. So now let's head over to GitHub, and then let me reload this. So now I should be able to see all of our code here. So now let's go to Vercel, and then let's click on create a new project. So I've clicked on project, and then that's brought me here. So we need to select um this new repository we created. So I click on import, and I'm just going to call this AI agent with agent, and then we need to pass in the env. So I'll just put node env production like this. So I'm just going to add more here. I'm going to quickly do that. So uh I've pasted all my envs here, the secret. So we're going to change the webhook secret after we've after we've pushed, so after we deploy, sorry. So let's click on deploy. Okay, so let me quickly change it. So I've changed the name, so let's click on deploy. So let's wait for this to start deploying. So I'm going to pause this. So I also removed the turbo pack from the build in the package.json. You can also remove that. So let's wait for this to be. So this has deployed. So we're still going to go back to settings, and I'm going to just copy the let's copy the domain. So I'm just going to copy the domain. Let's go to domain, sorry. Let me go to domain, and let's copy this. We'll go back to the environment variables, and here we are going to go ahead and change the BetterAuth URL. If you see that it's localhost 3000, so let's just change this, edit this, and then let's just paste this here. And we'll change this to HTTPS. Copy this, save. Then we also need to modify, I think, okay, this one is different. So let's just change this next public auth, and let's just save it. So the next thing we're going to change is the uh, Stripe webhook secret. So just edit this, and let's go over to Stripe, and then also click on BetterAuth so we can see the event we are going to enable. We're going to enable checkout session, check customer subscription updates and customer subscription deleted. So click on this. Let me wait for this to open. So once you open, just click on the developer here below here. Click on webhook and then let's click on add destination. You can just go to overview. Sorry, not overview, webhook. And then let's click on add destination. And there we're going to add the event. So we have not selected any event. So the first event we're going to pick, let's just copy this checkout completed. Come over to Stripe, paste this, and we should see just check that. Let's remove this, go over back to Stripe, to BetterAuth, copy customer subscription update, and let's paste it too. Then let's select this and click on continue. So let's go back. So now continue. Let's confirm this is selected. So it's select, and the last one we're going to copy is the customer subscription deleted. So copy this from over here. Let's just remove this, paste this, then click on customer subscription deleted. And I think whereas if you click selected events, you should be able to see all the events selected. So just click on continue, and then we're going to say webhook endpoint. Just click on this. So now we need to provide the endpoint. If you go over to BetterAuth, you can see how to construct the URL. So I'll just copy this and paste it here. And then here, I'm just going to replace this with my own domain. So I'll just replace this with my domain now. So make sure this is correct. You can see it. Um, this is my domain. And then make sure it's like this. The endpoint is correct. So let's just click on create destination. And now we can see the secret here. So just click on review and then click on copy. And once you copy that, let's go over back to Vercel, and then let's just replace this with this, and then let's click on save, and then let's click on reload redeploy. So I'll just click on redeploy, and this is going to redeploy the. So I'm just going to view deploy. So we can see that it is building. So once it completes, I'll wait for this to complete, then we can test it out. So this has successfully built. And if I open this, I've opened this already. You can see a URL. I've already opened this, and this is working. So I could just ask it, and we should be able to see that this should we'll be using Claude now. So let me just say, what model are you? Or let's say, hi, and you see that this is working fast. So I'll say, what's news today? So it's searching the web. You can see searching the web. Wow, this is making sense. So the last thing we're going to do is to do an end-to-end testing of our deployed application. So I'm just going to copy URL, and with TestSprite, we can actually test the app end-to-end testing. So I'm just going to copy the URL. So basically, I'm going to try and sign up and sign in with a new email so that when we're testing the billing, it's going to actually work so that we don't need to throw and have an error here. So I'm just going to create a new account, and then we're going to come over to TestSprite and then click on create text here. And let's just give this a wave AI end-to-end test, and then click on next. And once you click on next, we've already done the API testing, the backend testing. So let's just click on skip backend test, and let's just give this wave AI, give this API. So let's give this email and password. So I'm just going to do that here. So I've put the email and password. So let's just click on next. And then it's going to generate a test plan. So let's wait for this to generate a test plan for us. So it has generated the test plan. So let's click on next. So now it's going to give us how we're going to test all of this here. So before you go ahead and then test this, so I forgot we need to also add the we didn't implement the web the landing page. So if you go over to app the repo, I've added it there. Just click on web. And if you go inside web, you can see I've added the landing page. Just copy everything from here. It's just a simple one page, and just add it and deploy the app back so that you can have the landing page. Yeah. So since you've already done that, if you do that, then you can come over and continue. Yeah. So yeah, we're going to give the priority of what we want the AI to test in our app. So I want to be able to test the sign in. So I'm just going to remove this pricing because I have this in my landing page. So I'm just going to remove all of this. Yeah, the free trial sign up. I'll remove this. So I'm going to just populate this with some of the test case. You can click it to add test case here. So I'm just going to do that here. So I've written a lot of tests here. You can see I add sign up page. Ensure users successful sign up using email and password and navigate to the home page. We have the home page. On the home page, ensure users can type a prompt on the chat MP and submit and the AI respond. Then we have the chat page, test the chat page and type a prompt in the chat MP then submit an if AI response and also check the okay, I think I need to remove this AI respond. Then we have the chat history button clickable and a drawer open and close. So that's for the chat history button. The AI chat page is clickable and when click open the chat history drawer and when close click again to close it. Then we have the new chat button. So confirm the new chat button at the top right corner in the chat AI chat page. It's clickable and open a new chat. We have notes creation. So let me just add all of this after logging in. So like this. Then we have billing page and also that. So these are literally everything. So you can pause and just write everything out. And once you are done, you can click on next to continue. So this is going to go ahead and start um, generating the test case. So it's going to go ahead and start processing the test case. So we are going to wait for this to complete, and we should be able to see setting up environment, testing environment, and now it's analyzing user provided API, and it's going to run each of the test files. So I'm just going to wait for it. So it's I think it will first of all go ahead and test the sign in accessibility, and we should be able to see a preview, a video here that will display the actual um, processing with the AI and test the sign-in accessibility for us. So let's wait for this to complete. And we can see the video now. So the sign-in works. So if I play this here, we should be able to see how the AI went through for and log in with our account, with our email and password, then signing in and confirming that everything works. So he even went ahead and then test everything. You can see. So it tested every part in the home page, and you can see it well. So it's successfully passed, and then we can test. You can check the next test note creation. So I'll click on play, and then it's going to go ahead and sign in. Then click on the plus icon, and then this should open, and then you should be able to see that you put in some contents there and it's saved, and it went through. So I think the billing field, and we can see the error attempt to upgrade to plug by clutter issue with Amazon sign in process. The email provided did not correspond to an existing account. This should has been stuck. So let's click on play and let's see how it was able to try to upgrade. Then we go ahead to billing. Then I click on plus. Oh, it tries to pay, and you can see that it's not going to work because it's not going to work. It's not going to work. So I only ask it to only, so I could come over here and update this. I'll say after logging in, only. So wait if it's related to only. Do not, do not fill in anything in Stripe and confirm. I'll change this from wait to confirm if it redirects to do not fill anything in Stripe. Then click on update and run. And this is going to rerun this. So let's click on sign up page. And then we should be able to see the sign up on. So it clicks on get started. Then you fill in some email name and then email and then it works. So I think the home page is unable to use that in the chat is not complete because the chat input element does not present in the page. So if I click on play, okay, we can see that we need to update, we need to tell it to after logging in. So I'm going to say after, I'll say after logging in, then click on update and run. So I think this one failed to run. So let's click on chat history and then let's wait for this to open. So we can just click on this or just fast forward it. It's going to click on chat and then it's going to click on the new chats. Okay, chat history and we can see. So, okay, it's working. So I think the reason why this didn't work is because it's going to try to go to, let's see. So if it goes to chat, new chat, and you click on new chat, we are already in the new chat, so it's not going to make any effect. So I'm just going to stop this. So instead, in the chat page, we can just say in the chat page after the response, then click on the new chat button. Then we can click on update and run. And this is going to run it. So let's wait for all of this to complete and then let me wait. So now it has finally tested everything has passed through. So I think the billing page we can look at it now. So it has tested the billing page. So after logging in, you can see it just went straight to the billing and then click on plus and then that's it. So it didn't go ahead and start filling in any card deals. So also in the AI chat page, we can see we also ask it to after logging in type in, so you type in some prompts response and then click on new chat and then it went through. So I think that is all for this video. So guys, you can check out TestSprite, link will be in the description. So see you in the next class and make sure to subscribe and share this video.